Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. The June 30th, 2021 special board meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located on the table in the hallway. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Mrs. Kelly King, District 5. Dr. Diane Gullah, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Board Member Cummings, will you please read our commitment statement?
Sure. We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first. We will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Board Member Cummings. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now ask the school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board this afternoon. Good afternoon, Attorney Powers.
Good afternoon, Chair Thrower. In compliance with Section 286.0114 of Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at today's meeting, either regarding one of today's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the hallway. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board secretary no later than 2:40 p.m. This afternoon's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board's meeting in the order of receipt by the school board's secretary. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name and address for the record and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes of time. However, if there are more than 5 persons who wish to speak, the board may seek consensus to limit each speaker's time to 3 minutes. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. Pursuant to the procedures for public comments, speakers are not to identify specific individuals other than themselves or their child unless a statement is provided 24 hours in advance. The board is here to listen to your comments only. You may be directed to an administrator or staff member following the conclusion of your comments for further assistance to address your concerns. A public speaker's speech does not reflect the endorsement, sponsorship, position, or expression of the school district. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements. Chairman, that concludes my explanatory remarks.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Secretary Martinez-Lopez, do we have any speakers today?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right, we will move on then. Attorney Powers, you would like to have discussion on Resolution 21.02.
Yes, ma'am. We have prepared a resolution, 21-02, to address concerns that had come up during our exit interview from our audit from last year. These need to be enacted. These are policy changes. We have our Neola policies, which are currently being reviewed and have to be submitted as a large group. However, with these specific ones, and the policies are listed within the resolution, of which each of you have a copy. Those are ones which we wish to have a temporary updating of our existing policy until the Neola policies can take effect, within the next 90 days. And this resolution would have a sunset or expiration date to coordinate with that. The affected policies are current policy 5.301, that's student conduct, school environment and safety incident reporting. 2.150, bullying and harassment, and mandatory reporting of conduct, 6.290. 7.201, grant funds. 7.202, internal controls. 7.203, cash management of grants. 7.204, cost principles, spending federal funds. 7.205, time and effort reporting. And 7.206, procurement, federal grants and funds. Each of these were identified as items within our exit interview after our State of Florida Auditor General audit that needed to be updated to come into compliance with that which is required by the state currently. So the resolution has the updates as to each of these, which would go into effect and would remain in effect for a period of 90 days until we were able to get the Neola policies, the current updates which we are making, into action. And so that would be something that I just simply need the board to discuss if they have any questions or discussion, and then barring that, vote in order to enact said resolution.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Do we need to have a motion before we discuss, or?
I do not believe we would need to have a motion in order to at this point, simply if there's any discussion, you would need to engage in such discussion or debate, and then after that, we would move into a motion and second as to adopting the resolution.
Okay, great. Just wanted to confirm the sequence. All right, board, is there any discussion?
It's just 90 days extension.
Correct. And then at the end of that time frame, we should be ready for our,
And it automatically expires in 90 days, so.
right.
And it appears to be somewhat of a formality just to get us back, or get us into compliance, so that these adjustments are needed regardless of what our thoughts are in some ways. I mean, if the Auditor General has told us that we need to amend our policies based on the recommendations included in such, then I think that it's pretty self-explanatory that we need to move forward.
Right, thank you, Board Member Campbell, and it appears to be reasonable and prudent to do so. So thank you, Attorney Powers, for bringing this to our attention, and I think we'll go ahead and ask for a motion.
Second.
Moved by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Campbell. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. Thank you again, Attorney Powers.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to committee reports, concerns, and comments. Dr. Gullett, do you have anything for us today?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Attorney Powers, anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right,
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Yes, there is. We have 2 employee matters which are need to come before the board for a hearing. We have narrowed down our dates of availability for everyone thus far, and I need to find out if the board would be available for a hearing on July 21st in order for us to proceed with these 2 employee hearings, and that's with, let's see, 7/21. That would be the date that we would need to do it based on availability of all the other parties so far.
What time? Oh, you don't know
Yeah,
what
what
time?
time?
We would start at 9 o'clock and would proceed. I would presume that we would be able to complete it within a half day. It may be that it goes slightly long to 1 or 2 o'clock. We would have a court reporter scheduled from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock. However, I would hope to be able to release the court reporter by noon or 1.
Works for me.
Works for you?
Yes.
All right. Let's make it happen.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll set that up.
Okay. Secretary Martinez Lopez.
No, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Board Member Campbell.
Nothing for me.
Board Member Cummings.
Just one thing. I just want to commend the City of Ocala fiber optic department. They were recognized as are being a finalist for the IDC Smart Cities North American Awards. And I'm encouraging everyone to go on their site and vote for them before the 2nd. Make sure that Ocala brings home this award. You guys remember that our the fiber optic team from the City of Ocala made sure that we were able to have some internet services around the district to help these kids throughout this pandemic. So I'm encouraging everyone to help them get this award. Other than that, have a safe 4th of July.
Always safety.
Yes, always safety.
Thank you, Board Member Cummings, for bringing that to our attention. We certainly have a great business partner, and hopefully a lot of people will be voting away so that fiber optics gets it. That'll be really great.
Yes.
Okay, and I only have a couple of things as well. The first one got me thinking because we're not going to be meeting again for a while, and it's just something we need consensus on, and I feel comfortable bringing it forward based on the recent Health Department and CDC guidelines when it comes to school. And this is in terms of continuing with the optional face coverings. In my mind, there's no reason to wait until our next meeting, which isn't until well in July, to state our position and make the decision. I think that the policy was written to be very fluid and flexible so that we could come together anytime, with a quorum and make any changes. I feel pretty confident that we would probably get a full unanimous anyway, so I'd like to get your thoughts.
I have already publicly stated that I am all for optional face masks in the fall. So I'm fine with that if we make a consensus decision today.
All right, great. Board Member Cummings?
I think everybody kind of know where we're going with this. We did tell the community that we would come back at a certain date. I think out of fairness for them, just do what we say we're going to do. I don't know if it's going to hurt or anything by moving now or moving then, but I think we did say the 21st or the next meeting or something, that 22nd. So I think being transparent with the public, just being fair. So.
And I would tend to agree that is a consideration. However, I did want to bring it forward to discussion just because I'm getting a lot of calls and just folks just want to know. I know our meetings are public, and I know after whatever we decide, it's going to be public anyway. So in my mind, what was the difference? I think it would just be helpful to the community to make a statement sooner than later, but I do understand your point. We had decided to wait until our meeting in July. In my mind, I don't think I was realizing back then how long it was going to be before we got to meet again. So I do feel that time is of the essence. I'm not sure that the risk outweighs the benefit of making our position known, especially if we really don't have, especially if we're all sure, at least the three of us sitting here now, that this is the direction that we want to go.
I think we're heading in the same direction. I think we're all heading towards optional. I do think that, but again, I just believe that we ought to give the community opportunity. That's what we said.
Okay, so then.
You pretty much got your consensus right now.
What's that?
You got your consensus. I mean, but I have to state how I feel about that as far as the community. That's what we said.
Mm-hmm. So are you suggesting that then we wait to make it formal until that day?
That's my record.
And that, I guess folks will be reading between the lines then.
And just because it is a work session day, we can make it formal on that day. I'm just curious how that.
The consensus would be formal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was my other thought, was that this is a school board meeting, so it would make it formal and just get it done, but I do hear where you're coming from.
Well, there's no official vote, so there's no vote going plugged in, so.
That's right, it wasn't anything we had to vote on anyway. That's true. It was just a consensus item.
Right.
I'm willing to go with what the rest of the board wants to do. It's a shame that Vice Chair King's not here, because, again, it just has come much more to my attention pro continuing optional than con. And if it provides some reassurance to the community and provides reassurance to parents about the plans that they're intending to make or not make when it comes to enrolling their kids and those types of things, that was the only reason why I brought it up. We've certainly had a lot of conversation about it, and we've made it pretty clear how we're feeling.
And Madam Chair, while I completely agree that we said July 22nd was the date that we are going to, at least we sort of said it so that we would entertain public comment again on that date as well. However, viewing from the public comment that we've received thus far, I don't believe that the public comment that potentially could be coming is contrary to what our consensus is. There could very well be, but I would be content with us making a decision right now if
One of the other things that we also said is that we want to consider looking at how this thing played out through summer school as well, and getting that information to play into our decision. I mean, if we can do what we want to do today. We can do it. You'll have the majority, but I do think that we need to wait on if we said something, stick to what we said, and not move just because of timing. The issue was that we said that we wanted to make sure we have all the information in front of us concerning summer school, how things went through summer school, and then we make the decision.
Mm-hmm. And we've had good information. We haven't waited until the end of summer school if we make it formal today. Part of my delight was that the medical community finally made a specific statement, and we have been dealing with this and struggling with this all year. And in the end, we're the ones that have had to literally fight the fire. So it was very confirming to me, and it was a tremendous relief to finally get official guidance when it comes to school settings. That's what we need. We are so much to so many. So I kind of wanted to celebrate that a little bit. I wish it had come
Earlier.
right, but maybe like us, they wanted to be cautious and just make sure that they felt like they had their data that they needed. But I certainly feel as one board member that I've got the data that I need. So, but this conversation is public, it's in the open, and we can wait till Vice Chair King comes back and, make it the official consensus at that point. I don't even know that everyone in the community is aware that we did get this official guidance when it comes to in school. And so I think that's very important to convey. And the news continues to be really good coming out of summer school. And it's been really enjoyable to get around to schools and see the success. So I guess I'm just that kind of person too. When something comes out that's really good, it's like, okay, let's go with it, because there's been a lot that's been challenging. But I do see your point too, Board Member Cummings. So we can just leave it like that for today. We've discussed it. We're happy with what we're seeing. And then when Vice Chair King comes back and we're a full group, then we'll make it official.
For the record, I am happy. I am definitely happy with what I'm seeing as far as what we have done this year, not just in summer school, but this year as a whole. So
Yes,
we've tried to mitigate this thing as much as we can, and we've done an excellent job.
that's for
So,
sure.
so everything is trending in the direction that that group has said that they want. I don't see any issue in rushing it. So that's just Cummings.
We can bask in the joy of how well things are going for another few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that discussion. And then Also, to Attorney Powers, I would love to get some clarification on the appointed school board member process that we're currently awaiting. And would that be within your purview to reach out and see? Because at this point, I don't know if we're going to be looking at a special election. I don't know if we're going to be looking at someone being appointed until we have a special election. I don't know if we're going to be looking at someone being appointed for the rest of former board member McCall's term. But in the meantime, we need a good person on our board that's ready to jump in and do everything that public education does. So the sooner.
Madam Chair, I do know that the process has already started. People have already started submitting
I know that.
their paperwork to the governor's office for his selection. He has, is at his will when he decides to appoint.
Well, some hints of a timeline would be very helpful. The waiting is the hardest part. We have a lot to do and a lot to accomplish. And for one thing, I would love to get clarification on whether or not there's going to be someone appointed with the understanding they would serve until a special election, or someone will be appointed with the understanding that they will serve out the rest of Board Member McCall's term. Just getting that clarification would be very helpful. So whatever you're able to unearth would be appreciated.
I will do so.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Report back to the board.
Awesome, thank you. And then the last thing I had on my list was Dr. Gullah's evaluation. I guess we need to get that done, and it seems impossible that we're already right at a year.
Good thing. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing. And since it's a new thing for us too, with a newly appointed superintendent for the first time, that is another process that I want to make sure that we are in compliance with and going about it the right way.
And later this week, I will be sending out evaluation materials for the board in order to move forward with that process. And I have spoken with board members individually. I've also spoken with Dr. Gullah regarding the terms of the evaluation. And we will do so in compliance with current existing board policy and also with the superintendent's contract, and make sure that we have everything as it needs to be.
Excellent. We can always count on you to keep our legal ducks in a row.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and that's all I had.
One thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Board members, I just wanted to let you know, on July 22nd, on that work session, I just wanted to give you a little preview of how that day will go. We have a pretty lengthy work session as it is. At 11:30, we have to do a hard stop for Ms. Teresa Boston Ellis's. Once we complete Ms. Teresa Boston Ellis, then we're going to do the attorney-client sessions and then go back to our work session. And the only reason why is because we'll be paying a court reporter and attorney, so we want to go ahead and take care of them. We probably will take a lunch break after the attorney-client sessions, depending on how much more we have to complete in the work session. But just to give you an idea, we are going to have to do some hard stops in between to get everything that we need to get accomplished on that day for the work session,
And what's the date again?
July 22nd.
July 22nd. Okay. All right.
Is there any way to move some stuff off of the 22nd?
I
I'm just
believe
asking.
we did.
You
We
did?
took some items
We
off,
have a lot.
We are,
And it's still long.
and it's still long.
So
we did already.
That we could go ahead and have our consensus today, and that would eliminate some of our public comment
Take long.
potentially.
And that will be
That'll be
discussed during
quick.
the COVID.
Right.
That's
Right.
coming. So I just wanted to get you all prepared for the 22nd, and come with your running sneakers on. It's gonna be quite a day.
So we'll be having our lunch, and the community that may be attending, and then also our employees that are presenting should also bring their lunches as well, as that's what it sounds like. Okay. All right. Well, can't say that this board doesn't dive right in and accomplish a lot. So we'll do what we have to do, and we will be coming back after a very long break. So I'm not surprised that we'll have another very robust agenda. So that will be what it will be. Okay, thank you, Secretary Martinez-Lopez. All right, there being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Board Member Cummings, second by Board Member Campbell. This meeting is adjourned at 3:26.